Hi, I'm Bill Doherty, and I want to welcome the viewers to another edition of Bill's Bullpen. Bill's Bullpen is a program that's intended to give the viewers some idea of what's going on here in Bourne and also in the region. With me today, I have two people from the Recreation Department. And who are you?
My name is Krissane Caron. I'm the Recreation Director. I've been with the Rec Department for 19 years.
19 years is a long time.
It is.
And who's with you?
My name's Katie Mathews. I'm the Assistant Recreation Director, and I've been with the town for 10 years.
Well, recreation has different meanings for different people. And of course, the first thought that comes up to recreation is, let's say, to enjoy yourself. Now, I'm a pretty naive subject. What is recreation in Bourne? What is that all about?
Recreation in Bourne encompasses so many different things, from activities and programs that Katie and I run in the Rec Department to all of our outdoor rec areas that we have, playgrounds and ball fields, conservation areas where people can go and walk. Recreation encompasses so many different things for people. It can be organized activities such as after-school sports for children, or STEM programs, which are very popular now. Or
what programs?
STEM, which would be science, technology, engineering, and mathematics programs that are very science and engineering-based programs.
I've heard of STEM programs,
Yep.
and I've also heard of something called STEAM programs. Now, do you do anything with that?
Yes, we have art programs,
Okay.
and they are kind of separate from our STEM programming, but we do offer an art component to our program offerings as well, which is actually one of the programs we wanted to talk about today, because it's a new program. I'm going to let Katie talk about it because she found our instructor and she set up the program.
Sure.
Okay. And we do want to hear about that, but I want to get more of a general picture
Sure.
of recreation here in Bourne. What are some of the activities that that the regular recreation does?
Okay, so our office is in the Bourne Veterans Memorial Community Center, so we run most of our programs and activities out of the community center, ranging from pickleball that we have a couple days a week and
Pickleball.
one evening.
I've heard of pickleball. I heard that
Yes.
Tom Brady brought a pickleball team.
I heard that as well.
And LeBron James.
What is pickleball?
Pickleball is a court sport that's played on a smaller court than a tennis court, with a harder ball and a smaller racket. It's very popular. It's a very social activity. The people that play pickleball come as a group, and they play and they talk and they have a really good time. So we offer an organized pickleball program
I
in the
want you
community
to tell
building.
people how do you play pickleball?
I'm going to let Katie answer that because she
Okay.
learned how to play when she was at Bourne High School.
Oh, Bourne High School. Well, I have a granddaughter that graduated from Bourne High School, so tell us about it.
Like Krissanne said, it's played with a hard plastic ball. It's similar to tennis or ping pong. You have to serve to your opposite service box. There's a thing called the kitchen. There's very specific, intricate rules.
Kitchen?
Yes. Stay out of the kitchen.
I don't
That's what
understand
I
how to
hear
play.
them yell
Yeah.
from the gym. Stay out of the kitchen. But the scoring, you'll hear people say 10, 8, 2. That would mean our score is 10, your score is 8, and the second server is serving at that time. So it would go back and forth between server 1, server 2. It's a little complex.
In volleyball, you lose your service, and then you can score the next time. Is that the same sort of idea?
Yes.
Okay. So now, what do the tennis players think about this? Because you're using a tennis court.
Yeah, we do have a lot of people that will play both.
Oh, okay.
That will, and we've had people that have transitioned from tennis to pickleball. Because if people have injuries, it's a little bit easier to cover a smaller court, and you do play doubles, so you're always two people. So it's not.
How many people are involved in a team in a pickleball?
So the way that we operate at the community center is we have what we call open play.
Okay.
And people can register for the time, and we take up to 32 people. We have 4 courts lined in our gym, and people just mix and match and play. You play a game, when you're done, you exit the court, 4 more people get together, they jump on a court. So it kind of just flows around. We have a court designated for beginner players who are just trying to figure out the scoring and where the kitchen is and, and all of that. And some of our more advanced players are always willing to help out the beginner players and kind of teach them the ropes a little bit. So that's very helpful. And then we have a court that is really for the advanced players, the challenge court. And that's very competitive play on that back court. So, and then the other two courts are for all different levels. So people just rotate in and out, and they play for 2 hours, and then they come
Where are
back.
the tennis courts?
Where are the tennis courts? We have a lot of tennis courts in Bourne, actually. We have one behind the community building. I'm sorry, one behind Town Hall.
Okay.
We have 2 over at Clark Field.
The one there is, yeah, I guess there is one behind Town
Yeah.
Hall. I always thought that was part of parking lot.
Yeah, it is kind of part of the parking lot,
Yeah,
but yeah,
okay.
it's fenced in. It's a
Okay,
legitimate
okay,
court.
gotcha, yeah.
So we have 2 down in Sagamore Beach at Clark Field.
Okay.
We have 1 on Sandwich Road underneath the Sagamore Bridge at Keith Field. We have 2 in Monument Beach. Beautiful location called Chester Park, right down on the water.
Oh,
It's
yeah,
got a
that's
playground
a
there. It's
gorgeous
gorgeous.
one, yeah, gorgeous,
We have 1 in Pecasset on Barler's Landing Road, and we have 1 in Katomet on County Road.
At the Katomet
Yeah,
Schoolhouse.
I
Katomet
think I know where that
Schoolhouse,
is
yeah.
because that's close to where I live.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, do you have to reserve these courts?
For the outdoor play, we do not reserve
Okay.
courts. And all of the court rules for tennis, pickleball, and basketball say that you have 1 hour to play if people show up and are waiting to play. You have 1 hour to finish your game and then vacate the court so that other people can take advantage of it.
And
so
we know that everybody in Bourne is well behaved and follows the rules.
everyone, we hope that everyone follows, common courtesy
I
to
hope
other
so,
people
yeah.
that are trying to play. So a lot of our courts are lined for pickleball, so they are very heavily used. We are working on a capital plan, a long-term capital plan to try and renovate
The
them.
capital plan. I know that
Yeah.
all of us who have been in public life are always absolutely frightened to death about the capital plan because that's where all the discussion starts.
Yes.
Now, does that mean if you had all the money in the world and they came to you and say, Krissanne, what do you think we ought to do here, about the recreation department? What do you do?
We've, in addition to really focusing on our programming, which I'm very proud of the work that we've done and the programs that we've created in the past year, we're really focusing on our outdoor rec areas. They are an asset to this community, and we have a lot of them. But when you have a lot of them, they require a lot of work and a lot of maintenance. So one of the big initiatives we're working on right now is to try and do a redesign of the outdoor rec area behind the community building. We have a wonderful community center, which is shared with the Council on Aging, the Veterans Agent. It's very, very heavily used by all departments. And what we want to do is sort of carry that feeling to the outdoors and create an area that every resident in Bourne can look at it and say, there's something there for me to do. So we're in the middle of our concept design right now. We have, this is the plan right here. We have, well, this is a concept, this is not the plan. Let me correct that. So we've had a couple of public meetings, we've done online surveys, we've taken responses from people as to what they would like to see in this area. And we have a landscape architect that has been hired who has created a couple of different concepts for us. So this is just one of the 2 options that we have.
Let's say a little bit with the concept. When you say something for everybody,
Sure.
What exactly does that mean?
So if you look at the plan, what we have here is a brand new skate park, which we're calling an all-wheel park. And that would be great for anyone who likes to skateboard, scooter, BMX bike ride, which is I think, more popular now than
Don't you
I
need
knew
a
it
lot
was.
of room for a BMX bike?
This is a pretty good amount of space that we have here. We have a professional skate park designer who's working on that piece of it. Over to the left, you can see 8 courts. Those are 8 pickleball courts. And those fit on like the size of 2 tennis courts. So it looks larger, I think, than it is. Down in the front, we have an open area, which would be used for t-ball, and then an open grass area when it wasn't being used for t-ball. So we could do outdoor classes. The Council on Aging could do yoga outdoors if they wanted to, or stretching, conditioning, anything like that. In the middle, we have a new playground. In the middle front. And then we have a new basketball court design here, and that is a memorial court for Comoletti. That's the Comoletti Memorial Court. To the far right is a mini street hockey court, which rated very high on our survey, which was a little surprising. And then right in the middle, we have a tented shade structure with seating, picnic tables, and everything underneath it. And we've added additional parking into the parking lot as well. Around the outside is a walking trail that may or may not contain some fitness equipment when the final draft comes. But what we wanted to create was something where if you were bringing a child to a t-ball practice, but you also had a 3-year-old and you had a 10-year-old that was liked to scooter, that you could bring your younger child to the playground and your 10-year-old could use the scooter in the all-wheel park, or bring a basketball and they could shoot hoops, or bring a street hockey stick in a ball or a puck and kind of mess around in that area. It's a great walking trail that we're trying to create, so you could walk while your children are doing other activities. So we're trying to create sort of a destination outdoor rec area for the community, and a place where people would want to be outdoors and recreating in any manner of things, which could be very active, such as pickleball or basketball, but maybe a little more passive, walking the trail with your dog or a child in a stroller, or anything like that. So we're really just trying to create that welcoming, all-inclusive outdoor area, and we're very excited about it.
I think that's a wonderful idea.
Thank you.
And one of the first thought that comes into mind is that although this is outside, does this tie in with, let's say, with what I call STEAM and STEM and STEAM? You were going to talk a little bit a while ago about STEM and STEAM. Why don't you tell us about that now, and how that not only fits in here but also inside the building?
Right. So we've been speaking with our conservation agent as well to create a hiking and walking program for children and adults. So we could bring a lot of that kind of more nature-based programs out there as well. There's a lot of vegetation and local plants that the designer is going to be putting out back there. Shall it pass? When it passes, hopefully. Yes. So we'll be really looking to use this area too as a tool in the rec department as well. For parents that might not be able to be there all the time, we can take them, and this is just a perfect opportunity to expand our programming.
Well, when you talk about vegetation and support of vegetation, I think my old pal Dave Sampson is on the Upper Cape School Board. Are you planning to, let's say, to use the Upper Cape, or to invite the Upper Cape to participate in this?
We have a great relationship with Upper Cape Tech, and their students are so talented.
Well,
and
they are.
Yeah,
They
and we've
are.
used them for a variety of things. We've used them most recently in the community center to do some renovation work after we had a flood. And we've used them on our fields before. Their landscape students have come out and laid irrigation pipes for us at Keith Field in the past, and then laid the sod down after that. So we will definitely, this is going to be a multi-phase project that it really involves all members of the community in all assets that we can tap into to, one, help bring the cost down, obviously, and to create that sense of community that we're that we're really striving for with this project.
Well,
So.
a sense of community comes from participation, and as you've described this, having let's say having a design that invites the community to participate is very important. One of the issues for a lot of so-called community centers is that they focus on one segment of the community, and you might say let's say from an urban planning point of view, you're creating sort of an instant ghetto because you're not recognizing that there are young, middle-aged, and older folks that are in the community, and there has to be some way of bringing them all together to make it truly a community, a community exercise.
Yeah, and I think if you've been in our community center, you'll see, when we had the flood in 2018, we had to kind of, redo the majority of the community center. And the furniture that we've put in there, we chose very carefully to kind of create these seating areas and to create these areas to kind of invite people in. Right now it's kind of set a little differently. We've got a big Christmas tree in the middle of the veterans lobby and we moved some couches in around that.
I was at the coffee the other day.
Yeah, it looks nice, right?
Yeah.
Katie came up with that idea before our Winter Wonderland event that we had done at the community center last week, and people are loving that area, so we've really tried to create that feeling of come on in, sit down, use our Wi-Fi, bring a book. If you have somebody participating in an activity, whether it's in the rec department or in the Council on Aging, and you have some time, you can sit and read or play a game. And so we have a lot of areas in that building that are conducive to that. And I think that the benefit of the community center is we've got the rec department and we've got the Council on Aging in there as well. And our focuses are a little bit different and they do overlap. And we work great together with them and working on, space challenges that we might have.
Now, the Council on Aging publishes the newsletter, right? Okay, so I have seen references to to activities that you're running. You mentioned at the beginning you wanted to have something that was affordable.
Yes.
Now, to some folks, affordable means free.
Correct.
Okay. Now, to others, it's like, well, I can afford to put $50 into this, and that's fine. And a lot of us are in the middle, between those two things. Have you found any significant difference between the programs you offer for free versus the programs you offer for cash?
I don't think, no, I would say no. We work, because we are only a two-person department, we work a lot with contractors that we hire to bring in our art teacher, for example, in our STEM. Somebody asked me once if I was running the chemical creations program, and I said, I don't think the town wants me running the chemical creations program. It's a STEM program we have for kids, and I don't think that they would want me in there doing that.
Well, I'd like to find out more about that.
Yeah. So what I found though, we'll work with anyone. If they have a child that wants to participate in a program and they can't afford it, we will never turn anyone away for an inability to cover the fee. So
no, okay, and it's very important to find out what the process is to find that out so
Sure.
people don't get embarrassed. What is the process?
It's really quite simple. All they have to do is call us or email either myself or Katie.
Okay.
Our extensions and our emails are on our website, which is bournerec.com. You can also find them on the townofbourne.com
Okay.
page as well under recreation. We are very low key. Again, it's the two of us. We're very we try and be very approachable to people in understanding of everyone's situation. Everybody's situation is very different, and it varies throughout the year. So there's no formal process per se. We don't require tax documents or anything like that. No, we don't do that. So we work with people all the time in all of our programs, but I would not say that our free programs have higher enrollment than our other programs, to be honest. I think our programs are doing very well.
Yeah, we try to stay very affordable. We stay at about $10 an hour for programs or below. 10 is the max. So we're always trying to vendors are very understanding. We kind of negotiate fees with them, not to take away from their talents, but for them to understand that that's our vision here at Bourne Rec, is just we don't want to be price gouging our programming. Parents have enough to deal with and their money is already allocated.
Yeah, we don't want to put parents in a situation where they have to choose that, well, we've got multiple children and we can only afford one program, right? We don't want to do that. And we don't want to put people in that situation. So, and basically what we tell people when they approach us is, you tell us what will work for you, and that will make it so that it's stress-free for you.
I think you brought up a very important point, is that through communication, you can find out what, I'd say what's possible.
Yes.
And to get to the possible is a goal for all of us.
Yes.
Those of us who have, as you say, have multiple children and grandchildren and great-grandchildren, understand, the pressure that, the parents are under, let's say, to sometimes I found that my children, who tend to be more helicopter parents, tend to what I'd call overschedule kids, and my parents were more of you're on your own, you're responsible for yourself. So there's a different type of attitude, and I understand that that's more culturally involved, but at the same time, you're providing an opportunity for people to find out what is possible and what is available. All they have to do is contact you.
Right. That's correct. And we do have, I'm a big proponent of unscheduled and sort of free play time as well, which is kind of contradictory to what I do, but I grew up in that age of go play after school. So we do have times allocated on our schedule for what we call shoot around in the gym, which is where kids can come in. They do have to register, but it is a free program. And the registration is really just so that we have contact information in case there's a situation that comes up. So that's an opportunity for kids to come in and shoot around, grab a basketball, and we have a beautiful gym in the community center.
Yes, we do.
And it's really a community asset to have that gym. And so we have these times, and we actually have times set during the day as well. It's called lunch break basketball. So more people are working from home these days, maybe have a day off during the week and have to work on a weekend day. So we have a couple of days a week from 12 to 2 where it's open for adults to come in and do the same thing. So, we don't really we do like that unscheduled, structured time as well for kids to just come in and be children and not be sort of structured and told what to do all the time. So that is becoming more popular now that it's getting colder out and they're not outdoors at the outdoor. We do have one court out back right now, but when it gets cold and dark, they come in and they have the ability to be inside as well. But getting back to the point about families, we have a lot of grandparents raising grandchildren now, aunts and uncles raising nieces and nephews now, so the family dynamic is very different, and we are always trying to be very mindful of that as well when we're pricing out our programs and trying to really work with the community to get more involvement in our programs. But the variety of programs we've been offering lately, we went before the select board a couple of weeks ago and kind of gave an overview of what we were doing, and we're offering just a wider range than we've ever offered before, and the community is responding very well to it. We're branching out into what we call adult recess, which is really fun, and that's on Tuesday nights, and we're wrapping up our kickball. We had over 50 adults in a kickball league.
Kickball?
Kickball, like old school
Old school
kickball. Yeah.
What is that?
Kickball. Kickball was a recess game that we played.
Right.
You played on a baseball field. So we're playing in the gym. And no, we're not playing.
We're keeping score.
We're keeping score.
Rules are being followed.
But
I guess my parochial school education was very
they didn't
limited.
allow kickball there. No.
I didn't have kickball, and I remember I went to architecture school mainly because, as my wife said, it was because you didn't have art in grammar school,
There you go.
and there's probably a lot to that.
Yeah.
Now, there's a question of a community center and a recreation, let's say, recreation department as to how many days a week are they available. And since kids are in school most of the day, and the time the kids get in trouble and they need to have occupied is after school and on weekends. So are there any thoughts about, let's say, having a recreation program that extends over the weekend using a community center?
Katie's working Saturdays right now, running a basketball program. So that program will wrap up next week. And then in January, the Bourne Basketball Association will be running their basketball league on Saturdays in the community center. We do work evenings. We have programs in the evenings on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and in January, starting on Thursday, we're starting a new volleyball program for elementary school children, which we're really excited about. So we do program into the evenings. Friday nights, we've done shoot-arounds and wiffle ball tournaments and things like that. So we understand where our target audience is.
I think that's wonderful.
Yeah.
And of course, the other thought that comes to mind is that the library is on this side of the bridge, and the community center is on that side of the bridge. And I've noticed that there's a lot of tutoring that goes on at the library, and it seems like that open space that we're talking about looks like an ideal opportunity for tutors to, let's say, to catch up with our families in Bourne that are on the other side of the bridge.
We do have tutors who will pop in those square tables we have in the veterans lobby, and we have 4 of them, plus we have 4 smaller tables that are really ideal for that. They're round memorial tables, and it's very much more intimate to be there. So we do have tutors that will come in, sit with a student, and work with them. So it's really, it can get kind of loud depending on what's going on in the building, but it is an ideal spot for people that are over on that side of the bridge for sure.
Now, believe it or not, we've come almost to the end of this program. So now it's time for me to look at you and say, and what is the takeaway you want folks to have?
I would want I would want people to check us out, like to go to our Facebook page and to go to our bournerec.com and look at what we're offering. If you see a void, call us and talk to us about what you would like to see. That's where we get a lot of our ideas. People will drop in and say, hey, I see that you do middle school volleyball, but what about my elementary school child? So that's why we're always open and responding to that. So I think I would want people to take that away. Good. Follow us on Facebook.
And you want them to come there too,
and
right?
come talk to us. Come visit. Come check out the community center if you haven't checked it out, and come see what we have to offer. And I think we're offering a lot of really great things, so I don't know what you want to add.
I would say if anyone in the community has any special talents or things that they want to share with our community, give us a call, and we'd love to work together and create more programming with their help.
Well, with that, folks, there's an opportunity here. There's an invitation given. All you have to do is, the most important thing in life is to show up.
And we are hiring, by the way, for our summer staff.
Hiring too.
So come on in.
Economic opportunity.
Yeah, economic opportunity. For sure.
Well. That's really wonderful. Thank you so much for coming in.
Thank you for inviting us.
Thank you.
And I hope the viewers have appreciated how much is available here in this community. And certainly the Recreation Department is offering you that opportunity to participate and also to be part, in a more important way, by having fun by living here in Bourne. So with that, I want to thank the viewers for watching. This has been a production of Bourne TV.